Let's go Dolphins! Are we one phone call away from making the most unexpected move of the offseason, a move that not only weakens our biggest rival, but could instantly transform our defense into one of the most feared units in the NFL? I'm talking about a Pro Bowl caliber weapon, a Swiss Army knife defender who was surprisingly released out of nowhere, and he's there, ready for the taking. This isn't clickbait, it's real, and if Miami plays its cards right, this could be the turning point of the entire 2025 season. But time is ticking, and what I'm about to reveal could turn your expectations for this team upside down. Before we continue, make sure you've hit the like button if you want to see the Dolphins finally make an aggressive move to chase a Super Bowl. And if you've been following this team through all the disappointments and rebuilds, leave a Go Dolphins in the comments below. Now, what did the Patriots just do? And why this might be the best news Dolphins fans have heard in years? Let me show you. Alright, now let's get into the fire. The New England Patriots just handed the Miami Dolphins a gift. And no, I'm not talking about a pick or some forgotten depth chart filler. I'm talking about Jabrill Peppers. Yes, you heard that right. The same Jabrill Peppers who was a starting safety, a defensive captain, and by all accounts one of New England's most versatile defenders. Out of nowhere, the Patriots cut him loose. No warning, no injury concerns, no off-the-field issues, just gone. And why? That's the million-dollar question. Peppers was one of the best safeties in football the last time he played a full season. In 2023, he ranked 5th in PFF grade, 2nd in run defense, 9th in coverage grade, and 7th in both completion percentage allowed and quarterback rating allowed. He was dominant. He did it all: roam the backfield, crash the box, play the nickel, even rush the passer. Over 1,800 snaps at free safety, over 1,750 in the box, 421 times rushing off the edge, even 253 snaps as an outside corner. This guy isn't just a player, he's a Swiss Army knife. Maybe top 3 in the NFL in terms of defensive versatility, behind only Kyle Hamilton. So again, why was he cut? The official word from every Patriots insider, including Mike Giardi, is that it's a scheme issue. The Patriots are moving toward more man coverage responsibilities from their safeties, which supposedly doesn't align with Pepper's strengths. That's a stretch considering how good his coverage numbers have been the last 2 seasons. He gave up just 7 catches on 10 targets in limited action last year, with a QB rating allowed of 39.2. But if New England wants to play the fool, that's fine by us. Their loss can absolutely be our gain. And I need to ask, how perfect is this for Anthony Weaver's defense? Weaver has already made it clear that he wants aggressive, flexible players on the back end. He wants safeties who can blitz, drop deep, play in the slot, and handle different looks. Jabrill Peppers is tailor-made for that role. Minkah Fitzpatrick's the anchor, no doubt, but pairing him with someone like Peppers would be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. And with Ashton Davis still recovering, Dante Trader Jr. struggling to stay healthy, and Elijah Campbell limited to special teams value, the Dolphins could use another safety that actually strikes fear into offenses. And let's be honest, this secondary is filled with question marks outside of Minkah. So if you're serious about going all in for 2025, how do you not make a move like this? Even better, you don't even need to cut a safety to make room. Want to keep 6? Do it. Peppers has special teams experience. He brings leadership. He's healthy. He's off the commissioner's list after being acquitted in January. And anyone still worried about his past legal situation should know, every reporter covering the Patriots confirmed that this release had nothing to do with off-field issues. This was purely a football decision, which, again, makes no sense for them, but it's golden for us. If I'm Chris Greer, and yes, I've criticized him hard and often because, let's face it, the man should have been fired a long time ago, but if I'm him, this is the kind of move that could redeem at least one bad offseason. The Dolphins have a chance to grab a proven starter, a defensive leader, and a culture setter, all without giving up a single asset. You don't hesitate. You don't blink. You don't overthink. You make the call, sign the deal, and get him in the building. And if the issue is a roster spot, the answer's simple: Kean Smith. The offensive lineman hasn't earned his keep. With Kendall Lamb locked in as a swing tackle and more O-line help returning soon, you can stash Smith on the practice squad or let him walk. You don't pass on Peppers for depth at a position you've already reinforced. Now, there's one dark cloud in the Dolphins' sky right now that we can't ignore. Linebackers coach Ryan Crowe has been placed on administrative leave after being arrested on a domestic battery charge. The team has issued a statement. They're cooperating with the NFL, and the legal process will unfold. But for now, he's away from the team, and the coaching staff is down a key figure heading into the season. We'll monitor that story, but today, the headline is crystal clear. Let's break this down even further. because if the Miami Dolphins don't act on this, if they let Jabrill Peppers walk to another team, it's going to be one of the biggest missed opportunities of the entire year. This isn't just about adding another safety. This is about stacking elite-level talent on a defense that's already on the brink of becoming something special. With Anthony Weaver implementing his new system, you need a player who understands how to be effective from every angle on the field. Peppers has proven, year after year, that he can be that guy. We're not talking about potential, we're talking about results. And let's not ignore the context of the AFC East right now. The Jets are all in with Aaron Rodgers, even if no one knows how that's going to end. The Bills, despite losing key defensive players, still have Josh Allen and are always a threat. You can't afford to slip, not even for 1 week. That means depth matters, versatility matters, and experience? That's everything. If you line up a defensive package with Peppers in the box, Minka deep, and Jack Jones on the outside, suddenly you have multiple players who can switch assignments mid-play, disguise coverages, and shut down quick passes. Peppers doesn't just bring range and power. He brings disguise. He brings confusion. And in today's NFL, where timing is everything, disrupting a quarterback's read for just 1 second can be the difference between a sack, an interception, or a touchdown. And speaking of sacks, remember what we talked about with Miami's defense last season. 27th in sacks, 27th in turnovers. That's unacceptable. That's the kind of stat that gets you bounced in the wild card round, or worse, watching the playoffs from home. If you're going to fix that, it starts with players like Peppers who force turnovers and aren't afraid to get dirty at the line of scrimmage. He's got 5 turnovers forced in his last 38 games. That may not sound like a huge number, but look closer. Those are momentum-changing plays, the kind of plays this defense was missing in critical moments last season. Think about that Titans game where a late turnover could have sealed it, or the Colts game where momentum slipped away. These are the moments where Peppers thrives. These are the moments that get you into the playoffs. And we've seen what happens when this defense is just one piece short. Don't let that happen again. Now, let's address the so-called scheme fit excuse used by New England. If you believe Peppers doesn't fit a defense that's trending toward man coverage, you haven't watched enough film. This is a player who allowed just 7 completions on 10 targets last season. That's a 39.2 QB rating allowed. No touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. And this was in a year when he didn't even play the full season due to that commissioner's list situation, a situation that, let's be real, is now in the rearview mirror. He was acquitted. It's done. There's nothing hanging over his head anymore. And that's what makes this so wild. The Patriots had a healthy, capable, veteran starter, and they let him walk for nothing. They even extended him after 2023 because he played at such a high level. Now, suddenly, they decide they don't need him? This isn't just mismanagement. This is a hand-delivered opportunity for the Dolphins to take control of the division. Think about the message this would send. You sign Peppers, you immediately upgrade the secondary, you add leadership, and you show the rest of the league that Miami isn't playing around. That you're not content with just being good enough. That you're not sitting around waiting for things to click. You're making it happen. Because make no mistake, this roster has the pieces. You've got a top 5 wide receiver in Tyreek Hill, an explosive young back in Devon Chain, and if Tua stays healthy, he's more than capable of leading this team. The trenches are more stable with the return of Liam Eichenberg and Andrew Meyer later this season. Kendall Lamb is a legitimate backup tackle. The pass rush is healthy and deep. This is a playoff caliber team. But to make a serious run, you need difference makers on defense. You need someone who can tilt the field, someone who forces mistakes, someone who makes the other team rethink their game plan. That's what Jabrill Peppers brings. And it wouldn't even take much to make room. Kean Smith, practice squad at best. That spot is much better served by a player who's been a top 10